In the future, people will be confined in cages, working tirelessly until they collapse. By 2019, the world faces an alien assault. They cut off power and restrict access to resources, leaving humanity with no way to resist. Unable to combat a superior enemy, most governments surrender and comply. The military dissolves under alien orders, and extraterrestrials assume control, becoming the new legislators. However, not everyone submits. Detective Jack Drummond decides to flee Chicago with his family, hoping to resist the new rulers. Defying restrictions and barricades, he attempts an escape, but the aliens intercept him. His plan fails, and his family is destroyed, leaving only his sons, Rafe and Gabriel, alive. As the new leaders of Earth, the aliens seize resources and establish enclosed zones in major cities. Humanity is confined to cages, working underground to build alien habitats. The police, the sole remaining authority, conduct frequent raids, deporting those deemed undesirable. All digital communication is disabled due to alien interference, forcing police and politicians to communicate directly with the new rulers, receiving instructions for their actions. In 2026, a small resistance cell attempts to attack an enclosed zone, aiming to spark a global uprising. Though the plan falters, their goal remains unchanged. The surviving members of the resistance continue their underground struggle against the alien overlords, determined to ignite a war. 9 years after the invasion, in the suburbs of Chicago, a special police unit monitors every person through hidden cameras and tracking devices implanted in their bodies. William Mulligan, the head of the unit, keeps a close eye on Gabriel Drummond, Jack's younger son. Recently, Gabriel's older brother, Rafe, tried to orchestrate a terrorist attack to destroy an enclosed zone, but he and his allies were eliminated. Now the police must determine if Gabriel is involved in any rebellious activities. Gabriel knows he's being watched, but he doesn't let it stop him from spending time with his girlfriend. In the morning, he meets his best friend and fends off a nosy neighbor spying from her window. The two boys try to escape surveillance and discover a mural dedicated to Rafe. Despite his failure, Rafe has become a symbol of hope for those who still believe humanity can reclaim Earth. On a rooftop, Gabriel and his friend Urus gaze at the alien lair, which extends deep underground. Although fearful of being branded a rebel, Urus dreams of the day when people can reclaim their freedom. Meanwhile, William spots an ad in the newspaper from a company named Phoenix offering fire protection, recognizing it as a hidden message from the resistance, a signal that not all dissidents were crushed after the last terrorist attack. Later, William visits a woman named Priscilla, who is approachable and eager for company. However, he's only there to retrieve a package. While she would gladly spend time with him, he remains focused solely on his task, adhering strictly to the rules. Upon returning to the station, William informs his assistant that the resistance is still operational and may be planning another strike. While combing through case files and old biographies, he searches for any link to Phoenix to prevent a potential attack and avoid further conflict with the aliens. Meanwhile, the rebels are indeed gearing up for an operation set for that very night. Their target, the main football stadium, where politicians and potentially alien leaders will gather to celebrate Unity Day between humanity and the extraterrestrial civilization. Patrick and Charles have gathered a group, alerting their lower-ranking members to be ready for the mission and any possible risks. After meeting with Charles, Patrick heads to a bus and passes information to a shadowy figure hiding his face. Meanwhile, Gabriel heads to work at a data recovery center, constantly under camera surveillance, where he checks data drives and copies information for the aliens to analyze potential threats. As he sorts through phone data, he uploads all photos and videos to a server before destroying the data drive. During this time, he notices a colleague secretly writing on a piece of paper. At lunch, she sits next to him and discreetly hands him the note. To avoid suspicion, she rolls it into a cigarette and leaves it with Gabriel. After work, Gabriel blends into the crowd, but masked agents arrive in the park, arresting the woman and taking her to an unknown location before deporting her from Earth. Gabriel realizes he was close to exposure and must be more cautious. Later, he meets his friend Jurgis, who has found a boat for their escape from the heavily monitored zone. Gabriel longs to break free with his girlfriend, but he's frustrated by Jurgis's arrogance after buying a revolver, viewing him as a coward unwilling to act. The friends argue, but the sound of police sirens pulls them back to reality. Jurgis drops his weapon and flees, while Gabriel encounters William, head of the local police station. William uses Gabriel as an informant but treats him well due to his friendship with Gabriel's late father. He warns Gabriel against doing anything foolish or ending up like his older brother, threatening him with elimination if he crosses the line. That evening, Gabriel tries to sell a cigarette containing valuable information, but Rule shoves him into a van and places a metal collar around his neck. Rule drives Gabriel to a ravaged part of the city, a battleground from one of humanity's clashes with the aliens. Inside a bombed-out house, Gabriel meets Rafe and discovers his older brother survived a failed attack, but must remain hidden. Rafe had his tracking device removed, allowing him to move freely. He gives Gabriel money, urging him to leave the city by boat as soon as possible. Unlike Gabriel, Rafe has no intention of fleeing. He's preparing for a new strike. Adhering to their father's words, light a match, ignite a war, Rafe is determined to continue fighting, believing that by showing the aliens' vulnerability, he can inspire others to resist and drive them from Earth. He wishes Gabriel a better future before sending a pigeon with a hidden message, then burns all traces. Back home, Gabriel tells his girlfriend Rua to pack quickly so they can leave. However, she's hesitant and satisfied with their current life, unwilling to change anything. Gabriel insists, revealing that his brother is alive, but their conversation is overheard by the police. Upon learning that one of the resistance leaders is still alive, William urgently relays this to the alien leadership to strategize a new plan. Fearing Gabriel's escape, William begins a manhunt, tracking him with a locator. Gabriel manages to hide in an abandoned factory, surrounded by alien listening devices. To evade William, he jams the tracker signal using his collar. Meanwhile, Patrick intercepts the message carried by the pigeon. The resistance, quick to act, prepares another attack targeting the deputy mayor, who is set to attend the Unity Day celebration. Charles, working at the local newspaper, discreetly signals other Phoenix members hidden among the residents by placing a special symbol in the paper and coordinating a song on the radio as a cipher. Agents of the underground gather at a nightclub, preparing for their next mission. They meet with a physician to have the tracking devices monitoring their movements removed. The procedure is complex and highly dangerous, so not everyone survives. However, they're willing to risk it for a greater cause. Right after, Patrick heads to the morgue, where he bribes a local worker and buys the tracking devices of the deceased. The information on these devices won't be entered into the system until after 7 p.m., allowing the rebels to use the dead people's trackers to mask their identities and keep their plans for the upcoming terrorist attack hidden. Meanwhile, Rafe takes action, meeting with his assistant Edward after learning about a woman selling a unique item. They arrange to purchase a special fabric from her belonging to the aliens. This organic material can function like a chameleon, bypassing security systems and inspections. The potential of this transparent material is limitless, so Patrick repurposes it into a bomb that requires a double tap to activate, triggering a 1-minute countdown. As they finalize their operation, Ra's team receives the chameleon bomb, the dead's tracking devices to serve as identifiers, and poison capsules in case of capture. Knowing their target and the mission details, 6 members in 2 vehicles head to the stadium, where thousands are gathered for Unity Day, eager to meet the alien lawmakers. The mayor of Chicago begins his speech, praising the aliens for increasing Earth's natural resources tenfold and nearly eradicating crime. Phoenix members know this is false. The aliens intend to strip the Earth of resources, leaving it uninhabitable. Today is their last chance to prevent it. Otherwise, it will be too late. Upon reaching the stadium, the resistance members split up, monitoring the mayor's assistant. Their plan shifts with the arrival of the lawmakers, but their mission remains unchanged. Rafe gets close to the deputy mayor, plants the chameleon bomb, and taps him twice on the shoulder to activate the timer. As planned, the rebels leave the stadium, and a minute later, an explosion takes place,
What is that?
killing the mayor's assistant and several aliens. Enraged, the lawmakers begin a citywide hunt for the criminals, causing chaos. Edward is caught in the crossfire, while most rebels manage to escape. Rafe flees but encounters an alien in an underground parking lot. The alien attempts to kill him, but Rafe hides in a van. The alien tears the van apart, but other resistance members arrive just in time to eliminate him. Watching these events unfold on television, William realizes it's time for him to act. Meanwhile, Gabriel regains consciousness, discovering that the tracking devices have left him unmonitored. Without removing his collar, he rushes to the boat, only to find it destroyed to prevent his escape from the quarantine zone. As Anita gathers evidence leading to Phoenix, Daniel and Rafe press on, knowing that soon, all police will be after them. When the lawmakers summon alien bounty hunters, the police chief, Eugene Ego, is called to meet with the aliens, who have controlled Earth for 9 years. Later, William meets again with an ally who places full trust in him, sharing a dance before he proceeds with his work. That night, the police raid Chicago's poorer areas, arresting anyone suspected of aiding the rebels. Fearing reprisals, people discard anything incriminating. Jurgis resists, but is savagely beaten. Gabriel tries to defend his friend, threatening a special department officer with a weapon. William warns Gabriel to surrender if he wants to survive, as one gang member, before fleeing, calls his wife to say goodbye. William tracks him, demanding he disclose his accomplice's whereabouts to ensure his family's safety. Forced to comply, Evan reveals their location, and alien bounty hunters are dispatched to capture them. Meanwhile, Rafe, Anita, and Daniel head to the train station, purchasing tickets on different routes to leave Chicago. Everyone checks in except Anita, who's stuck in a long line. Seeing it's nearly 7 p.m., she moves through the crowd, using a boy to slip past the tracking checkpoint. The resistance members board the buses, preparing to escape with no police in sight. But suddenly alarms sound, forcing the buses to stop. Alien bounty hunters arrive, searching for the resistance members. They find Daniel, who, upon realizing escape is impossible, bites a poison capsule to end his life. Anita, terrified, prepares to flee, but Rafe stops her, hoping things will work out. Moments later, it's clear they've been tracked. Anita tries to hide but is shot by a bounty hunter, while Rafe manages to push him aside and escape from the bus. In a dire situation, the rebel makes the decision to swallow a tablet, but William arrives just in time and shoots him to stop him from following through. Shortly after, William meets Gabriel in an interrogation room, informing him that the aliens plan to destroy their district in 10 hours. Their home will be erased. Only Gabriel has the power to prevent this, but he must cooperate with the authorities. Despite the ultimatum, Gabriel refuses, but William plays his trump card, revealing that they have captured Rafe. Beaten and interrogated, Rafe faces execution if Gabriel doesn't assist the police, so Gabriel reluctantly agrees to become their informant. He receives instructions and a newspaper bearing the Phoenix symbol. Gabriel soon meets with Raul, requesting to be taken to the rebel leader. Though aware the police are tracking them, Gabriel is determined to help his brother. He proceeds to reveal the entire resistance network, leading to encounters with Patrick, Charles, and Priscilla, the group's supposed leader. With the terrorist head identified, William orders a raid on a brothel, during which Priscilla is killed. Upon arrival, William's assistant is skeptical, doubting that Priscilla is truly the mysterious leader behind the rebellion. Though intelligent and well-read, her unloaded gun and social standing seem incompatible with such a role. However, during a search, they uncover a hidden camera, listening device, and a laptop with crucial data. Soon after, William reports to the lawgivers, exposing the entire resistance hierarchy, from low-level operatives to top leaders like Charles, Patrick, and Priscilla. The aliens interrogate William, suspicious of his loyalty given that he has lived in the same area as the rebels. William, however, vehemently denies any affiliation, asserting his role as a committed officer of the law. Meanwhile, Phoenix members resolve to face their fate rather than fall into alien hands. Rafe, miraculously, is the sole survivor and manages to escape Earth. A few days later, William meets with Gabriel, handing him a data drive, confident it holds the truth that Gabriel seeks. Gabriel reviews the video files on the drive at work, discovering that his father, William, Priscilla, and other resistance members were close friends who celebrated every holiday together like a family. Gabriel also learns that William had vowed to protect Rafe and him after the death of Gabriel's father. Realizing that William is actually the true leader of the Phoenix group, Gabriel destroys the information. Meanwhile, William plants an invisible bomb and ventures underground, eliminating the lawgivers. The plan succeeds, sparking a worldwide uprising against the aliens as humanity begins to reclaim Earth.